Not young at heart enough anymore. Some thoughts I would like to share, but hardly get the chance to say anything. Sorry, I'm reading from this because I can't remember. If I have something longer to say than one sentence, it's hard to remember it all. As time goes on and extended childhood gives way to the pressures and struggles of life, it can be tiring, draining, and disheartening. The effort to maintain a childlike sense of wonder, simplistic faith, and bubbly joy is difficult in a world where things aren't always happy and life can be wearying and sometimes painful. Maybe it's just enough to find some contentment with the simple things in life, which anyone can have at any age. The idea of a second childhood, if we've lost the first one, may be just about retired people enjoying playing games and doing jigsaw puzzles, number and word puzzles, or easier sports? Or is it just about being too tired to have any inhibitions and just blurt out all the little jokes and funny ideas that pop into our heads? I've hardly ever been a very energetic or expressive person, but just have a childlike but not babyish taste in culture, films, music and food. The best things are free from adult content, foul language or anything aggressive, oppressive or nightmare-inducing. Adventure and action stories need some danger and enemies, so the heroes have something challenging to overcome. But the over-the-top effects and noisy action, my stomach rumbling, can be too intense. At least if we watch films at home, we can turn the volume down in the noisy bits, or fast forward through the dark times. A pity we can't always do that in real life. But now, where have all the decades gone? Where have all the decades gone? Where have all the decades gone? Can you believe I'm 50? I don't look it when I'm like this, do I? You can see my grey hairs though. I couldn't believe it when I made it to 30, then 40, now 50 years old. Who knows how many more decades I have left, or less. The culture I once enjoyed disappeared many years ago, but from time to time appears on YouTube. All those 1980s cartoons are still out there, if ever I feel like a bit of nostalgia. But Girl Guides is not like what it was in the 1980s, and church is certainly different from how it was in those days. Apart from the traditions that never seem to change, and are sometimes even more traditional and ancient than ever. Anyway, what I mean to say is, I'm unlikely to make much more content for this Young at Heart channel, and thought I should explain why, unless you think it's obvious. I had hoped to hear other people singing my songs, but not sure I want to sing them myself anymore. Perhaps they're too simplistic, or quirky, or not professional enough. I'm being my own critic here. But they are still here on YouTube and might be a blessing to someone despite my singing voice and talking voice. Getting a bit chilly again now. Anyway, becoming 50 today and having a party yesterday that overwhelmed me so much and gave me an almost sleepless night, I thought I ought to express something to explain how things are. As a sensitive person with sensory issues, I find noise and crowds overwhelming, and my sensitive stomach found the amount of or the kind of food I ate to be rather a shock to the system. One piece of cake and one biscuit too many, or rather something it's not used to, a bit of spice or too much egg. Party food is so nice at the time, but why does it so often end with indigestion or worse? Anyway, what I mean to say is I'm unlikely to make much more content for this Young at Heart channel, and thought I should explain why, unless you think it's obvious. Anyway, after an almost sleepless night and no room for breakfast, I got up soon after 6 a.m, needing a drink, and thought perhaps I could try to sleep sitting up, but soon gave up and started opening all those cards and presents that had overwhelmed me yesterday. It's also emotionally overwhelming to realise there were so many people who are fond of me and wanted to join in the celebration, and I don't mind whether it's because they really want to bless me or they just enjoy the food and fun of such events. All are welcome. Something I would have liked to say to everyone if I had the courage and opportunity was that I only know more than half of them. I only know more than half of you, less than half as much as you deserve, and more than half of you, I don't know me as half as much as I'd like you to. If that makes any sense. Maybe I should say it again. I only know more than half of you, less than half as much as you deserve, and more than half of you don't know me half as much as I'd like you to. Backache has been one of the most draining things in my life, which really saps energy and makes it difficult to concentrate, as do other aches and pains. And seeing people I care about suffering and not being able to help is emotionally draining, until the point where I find I can't feel anything anymore and don't have the energy to care, which is really sad, isn't it? Sometimes I think, what is the point of getting emotional if I can't do anything about it, if I can't do anything to help? I shouldn't get involved, it should be somebody else's job. After all, people issues are not really my thing. I'd rather find jobs to do that use my skills and interests. And if that can be helpful to people, all the better. A square peg doesn't fit into a round hole, no matter how many times I try to knock the corners off. Anyway, there are still so many creative projects I've had in mind for ages and would like to do one day. I mean, make into videos. But inspiration and motivation for them is getting rarer. They can take a lot of time and energy. Easier projects can get in the way, like family history research. Anyway, thank you to everyone who came to my party. Can't believe 50 years old. I don't look it, do I? Maybe I do. 50. Yes, thank you for coming to my party and for all those cards. I'm surprised there were so many different ones. Only 2 pairs of duplicates. Such a variety you all found. Well done. And many happy returns to all of you, whenever your birthdays are. And I hope you never lose a young at heart attitude, even if life becomes too tiring, for the young at heart energy you need for youthful activities. Stomach's rumbling again. Anyway, God bless you all. We all need it. God's grace has brought me safe thus far, and grace will lead me home, and all of us. God's grace has brought us safe this far, and grace will lead us home. Happy birthday whenever your birthday is. I'm trying to stay young at heart, but sometimes it's too tiring. I think I've done enough now. I can still try to make myself look and feel young at heart, but I never feel like it first thing in the morning. It can take me around 3 hours or more to get myself into a fit state to do anything worthwhile or serious, like reading anything intellectually demanding, or driving, or just being out and about where there may not be a toilet when I need one. Anyway, what I mean to say is I'm unlikely to make I'm unlikely to make much more content for this Young at Heart channel, and thought I should explain why, unless you think it's obvious. That's better. If I could get these straight, that would be better. It's a bit cold with just a t-shirt on. That's better. Even better to look young at heart, maybe. Camp neckerchief. Maybe that's a bit better. I don't know, that's hard to get neat as well. This is not quite like a mirror, is it? Good old girl guides. Where have all the decades gone? Not a girl guide anymore, but it's fun to dress up like one.